Hi guys, I'm Grace Gardner from London Borough of Hillingdon, and tonight I'm going to show you expedition cooking. Tonight we are doing mushroom, aubergine and potato curry. Sounds a lot of work, it's really quite easy. This is how we do it. Right, we are now, we have our pot ready here, challenges set up, ready to go. And first of all, we need to cut everything up. Don't forget, wash your hands, tie your hair back, the usual. So first of all, we are going to show you how to cut up an onion safely. So the easiest way to cut an onion is if you cut it in half, mind your fingers. Then you peel the brown outside off. Don't forget to put it in the bin, don't leave it lying on the field. Or you could prep all the veg at home and put it in a bag and take it with you. We've now cut it in half. We leave the roots on because it will hold all the layers together. So we've cut it in half, leaving the roots on. We're going to take the top off. So we can slice it up really, really small. We literally 3 or 4 times down the length of it, and then when we cut it this way, it will go into tiny, tiny pieces. It saves you chopping forever, and mind your fingers. Simple as that. So we're going to pop that into the pan that we're using, along with about 2 tablespoonfuls of oil. This is quite an inexpensive dish. It's suitable for vegetarians and possibly even vegan milk, not cow's milk. So we put the onion in with the oil. We're going to leave that to one side for a second while we chop the aubergine up. Aubergines are these. They're also called eggplants. Now, if it's nice, young and fresh, you don't have to peel it. If it's quite old, then the skin becomes quite bitter. But you will need to cut off the top and bottom, like so. And then easily, mind your fingers, if you cut it in half, then you have a flat surface on the chopping board and it's not going to run away from you. So all I'm going to do is more or less what I did with the onion. Don't cut it all the way through, because by the time you get it in the pot it will break up. And remember, the smaller you cut it, the quicker it's going to cook. So when you're camping, this definitely means a lot more convenience. So, and again, see, little tiny pieces. And just put on part with your fingers as you drop the pot. If you think too chunky, cut them again. I think I worked out the whole dish only cost you about £2. The aubergine was quite expensive because it's slightly out of season at the moment and was about 60p. Then you want 1 potato, 1 onion, and the only expensive stuff is the coconut milk and the curry paste. Unless of course you're lucky and have lots of curries at home, and then you only need about a teaspoonful of curry paste. Depends how hot you like your curry. Same as the strength of the curry paste depends on, again, how hot you like your curry. So I'm a tikka masala or maybe a madras on occasion, so I'm going to use a mild one today. So that's a lot of veggies in there. In fact, I'm not going to put all of that aubergine because I think by the time we add the potato and stuff, that's going to be loads. So I'm going to drop that in my other pot and I'll deal with it later. Right, so we've used half an aubergine because that's a really large aubergine. We've used half an onion and the pot's nearly half already. So we're going to need a small potato, and what we need to do is we need to just make sure there's no eyeballs eyelets on it. I'm not actually going to peel it because I have previously washed this one, so again, cut into small pieces, almost like chips. Then I'm going to cube them. And I'm going to drop that in as well. Try not to drop it onto the cooker. If you do drop food onto the floor, girls and girls, please pick it up. You don't want to feed the wildlife because some of the stuff we eat is not suitable for them. Plus, it will encourage rats and foxes and stuff around your tent at night, and you don't want that. So you can cut it any which way you like, just as long as it goes small. Mind your fingers. Right, so that's 1 potato, 1 onion, and half an onion, half an aubergine. And as you can see, the pot's quite full, and we haven't even finished adding the ingredients yet. So in the bottom of there somewhere is a couple of tablespoonfuls of oil. So I'm now going to put it on the flame. Okay, remember, don't put your face over it, and I'll have to put my extractor on. I'm really sorry about that, but my fire alarm goes off if I don't. As I was saying, the way to stop your matches getting damp is if you get some birthday candles and just melt them over the top, then the first strike will break the candle wax and the second will light the match. But I don't know what I've done to my matches, they just don't want to play tonight. Right, so we have now got that on, and as you can hear, it is heating up nicely. And what we're going to do is we're going to gently stir that until everything is slightly cooked through. So remember, don't leave the handle on the side. So just remove this around so it doesn't burn. It smells awesome already. Mind you, I like onions, so we're just letting that warm through. And I've actually bought myself some little curry pots. So basically, one of these pots is rather than a big chunky glass jar. So these are actually tikka masala, but I've also got some korma ones here. So that's a slightly milder one. But it's entirely up to you which flavour you use. Right, because that's now slightly brown in the bottom, I'm going to add my pot of paste. Remember, take all your rubbish home with you. And a can of coconut milk. If you have a plastic screw top container, you could actually probably empty that into a screw top container or something, and then you wouldn't have to carry a can. It's entirely up to you. As you can hear, it's gone quiet. So we now have to heat up the coconut milk and the curry paste and mix all in. And basically that's about it, apart from, it does say on my recipe, a stock cube, but depending on the curry pot you've used, you may not need the stock pot. So I'm just going to go with the flow and mix this in. The best thing about these recipes is if you try them at home and you say, oh, actually I could do some more seasoning, or I need a bit more taste in it, you can then alter it before you take it on an expedition, because there's nothing worse than your cooking site and then you taste it, it's like, ugh, I can't eat that, and you end up going hungry. It's a bit silly. That is now cooking up really yummy. I wish I could describe the smell. It's oniony, it's curry, it's veggies, it's, oh, yum. The usual thing, if you've got a trangier lit, please do not leave it unattended. If you are cooking near the tents, you have to make sure it's at least 6 foot away. So if there is any accidents, you don't end up setting your tent on fire. You don't end up with your dinner on the tent. So, and also because people working around tents, there's nobody around the pot to cook it or anything. But if it's lit, it needs to have a winder. As you can see, this has turned a nice yummy colour. I'll just turn the heat up a bit. The spoon that I use, curry, mix it up as well, add more flavour. And now we just wait until it's cooked all the way through. Spot the deliberate mistake. I've got mushroom, aubergine, potato, and I've only put aubergines and potatoes in so far. So, mushrooms. Mushrooms don't take too long to cook, so you would need to put the potatoes and aubergines in first, and then you can add the mushrooms later because they don't take as long to cook as the hard vegetables. As you can probably hear over the sound of the extractor, I'm basically just chopping it up to small pieces. I'm going to add that in. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to add them. It's entirely up to you. As I say, please experiment at home. See what you like, what you don't like. If you want more curry paste, you can add more curry paste and put chilies in if you want. I personally don't, but some people love chilies. So, again, these are quite large mushrooms, so I'm only going to add 3. I'm using chestnut mushrooms because they tend to stay fresh longer, but you can use the small white button ones if you want to. Again, it's personal preference, guys. You put in what you're going to eat. So that is 3 mushrooms. As you can see, that is a big meal for 2 people. This is actually a pot for 3, but hey ho. So you could actually split this with 3 people and have some naan bread or something with it, or even pita bread. Or if you have 2 pots going, you can do yourself some rice to go with. So I'm just always hold the pot while you're stirring, because otherwise you might tip it over or something like that, and it's also safety. Just don't do it for too long because the handle's going to get hot because the heat's coming around the outside. So literally that is going to sit there for about 10-15 minutes, and it's basically just chop everything small, put it in the pot, put the vegetables that are going to take the longest in first so they can start cooking while you're doing the rest, and cook. I'm going to turn that down a wee bit because that is bubbling nicely. Obviously, if you're outside and there's quite a wind blowing, if you pop the lid that way up on top, it will keep the heat in and make everything cook a lot quicker, and also stop it splashing out. Yeah, the aubergine was about 60p. The 2 pots of curry were about £1, so you could actually do this meal 2 or 3 times for about a £5, easy. Because in those packets there's 2 pots of curry paste, and I only used half an aubergine, half an onion, and not all the potatoes. So you can spice, or you can do it in a big pot for a family of 4 or 5. Possibly you can 6, depends on how hungry you are. And the only thing you have to double up on would be the coconut milk. The coconut milk was, I actually put in twice as much as I should have done. Actually, I've just realised that's just 200, and that was a 400ml can. So I got to check. I was just going on the original ingredients. I actually halved everything to go into the pot because that is normally for family of 4. So yes, you only need half the liquid. I've put in too much liquid. And you literally just leave it until everything goes soft. So I'm going to, that's still quite chunky, so I'm going to leave it for a few more minutes. Or you can get the spoon out and just have a taste. Needs a few more minutes. So as I say, you can have this with bread, toast, naan bread, pita bread, boiled rice, even quinola or pasta. It's how you want to eat it. As I say, you don't have to peel the aubergine, but you can if you wish. You can add things to this as well. You can probably add some fresh peas or maybe some carrots if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you, it's your vegetables. And as you know with curries, the longer you leave it simmering, the stronger it gets. That, ladies and gentlemen, is ready for consumption. So I'm now going to turn it down and go and have my tea. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know you try it. Bye.